Welcome back, folks, to our Power Rankings Week 10 NFL. We're going to be doing the list from 14 to 1. All the teams we think may be good contenders for the playoffs this season. Let's get into it. For the first time on this list, I think I had the Vikings on 2 weeks ago. I don't quite remember. But one of these two teams, we're going to have a tie. So I guess 14 and 15. I guess I lied to you when I said it was 14 to 1. But anyways, tied at 14, we're going to have the Steelers and the Vikings. With the list today, I went through everything in the standings and I had to pick every single 5-win team. Honestly, when you look at it, every single 5-win team are the commanding teams. Even ones with 4 wins, they're just not hanging in there the same way, even though it's just a 1-win difference. So there were 15 of them, but I do the rankings through 14. So I tied at the end with the two teams I thought are actually the worst 5-win teams in the league. However, the Vikings, with Dobbs, if Dobbs hangs in there, they might be a good contender in there. I'd watch out, Lions. Lions are probably going to get it. But anyways, the Vikings and the Steelers certainly not out of it. So there you go. You're on the list. Up one spot from last week at number 13, I'm going to have the Saints. They have the division lead, but they're not a top 10 team at all. I don't think they're very great. I do always put whoever is the division leader in my power ranking somewhere. I think that technically they're better than the Steelers and the Vikings because they have a very good chance of winning their division. With the Steelers and Vikings, they're going to have to put in a lot of work to try to do it. So the Saints are going to be in the number 13 spot. The Saints didn't even look that good against an awful Bears team. The Bears had more yards on them, and it's a good thing that Fields is kind of bad at playing safe with the ball. The Saints should have had 2 more scores than the Bears for sure, and for shame. They do still lead the division, though, so they will be on the list, though very low. Number 13 of the Saints. Down one spot, and at number 12, we're going to have the Seahawks. And honestly, I'm not even sure they deserve to be on this list at all. Maybe the Vikings should be at number 12. I don't know. They had the commanding lead in their division, and by commanding, I mean technical tiebreaker. Anyways, they were leading their division for a week. But this week, they had 151 total yards to 515 total yards. They had a whopping 28 yards rushing. Holy cow. I literally don't understand anymore what this team is doing. You think they're bad, and then they're doing good, and then they're doing bad, and then all of a sudden they're leading their division. You're still a 5-win team, so you get to be on the list regardless. I think 12 is honestly even too high, but we're not backtracking at this point, so I guess you get to keep the spot here, Seahawks, but get your shit together. Down 2 spots, we're going to have at number 11, the Cowboys. They played a good game against a very good Eagles team, in it until the very last throw of the game. However, in that fourth quarter, they really could have gotten the win, and they didn't. They just didn't have that drive to keep it alive. The Cowboys led with most stats in the game overall, including 100 more overall yards, but when it came down to it, they just couldn't squeak out the win. Also, you know what? You guys are the only loss to the Cardinals somehow. Don't forget to grab yourself a fresh subscription to TSST. But you know who didn't lose to the Cardinals? That's right, up 2 spots are number 10 team, the Browns. Just spanking the Cardinals. I mean, they found a Cardinal. They enticed him in. They were like, come on, I've got delicious peanuts for you. And as soon as they had it, they grabbed one of their little cardinal feet and reeled it in. And it's like, you're going to be in for a miserable time. Poor birds. Man, honestly, that's just kind of disrespectful. You shouldn't be doing that, Browns. You should rethink where your intentions are. Seriously, though, the defense from the Browns is absolutely insane. They literally just stop. Even a bad team should be scoring some points. And the Browns were like, no, not today. Held the Cardinals to 17 yards passing and 41 yards rushing. Oh my God. So bad. The Browns offense, still a little suspicious to me. I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. Chubb is obviously out for the rest of the season, though Ford and Hunt have been doing pretty good, especially Ford. Good job, Browns. Honestly, you're only this low because I look at the other teams that are above you, and I just think that their offenses are better, but your defense is going to keep you in this. And honest to God, I think we're seeing the Browns in playoffs this year. There's a lot to be excited for Browns fans. I mean, not as far as the organization goes. The organization is still crap. The Browns could be an even bigger contender right now if the organization was a little better. But you know what? Take what you can get. You're going to be at number 10, Browns. At number 9, I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills. I was very tempted to put them at number 10 and have the Browns above them. Honestly, I think they should be. But the Browns beat up on an absolute terrible Cardinals team, and the Bills got beat up on by a pretty darn good and explosive and hanging in their Bengals team. Not that I'm biased or anything, but still. They're down 3 spots. They need to be punished for what they did. Honestly, their problem is they're predictable. Teams are going into playing the Bills, and this is, I think, what happened last year. They start the season out very explosive, but then nothing changes, nothing evolves, nothing goes on. The teams watch film, they get into it, and they see what's coming. And if you were watching that Bengals-Bills game, the Bengals absolutely saw what was coming from the Bills as it was happening. Every time Josh tried to do a run, boom, they were right there. He tried to get some big passes out. The correct player was covered every time, basically. Bills, you've got to mix things up. I don't know if it's Ken Dorsey. I don't know if it's McDermott. I don't know what's going on. I have a hard time thinking it's the players. I have a hard time thinking it's Josh Allen. I think that something needs to change there, though. Your offense should be more explosive than this. Get your shit right. Hopefully the Broncos can let you do that. Anyways, for now, you're at number 9. Probably too high on this list. But you do belong in the list, and I will say that much. So, staying in the same spot as the 49ers. And why? Because they were on bye. So there's nothing to talk about, and they get to keep the same spot. I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. So, number 8, 49. Down 5 spots, we're going to have the Dolphins. Yeah, they went into Germany and 14 points. Didn't even score in the first half of the game. Oh, jeepers. The Chiefs are no cakewalk by any strain of the word, but honestly, you should have been able to put up more than 14 points. The Chiefs' defense is proving to be pretty good, but again, you didn't score at all in the first half. If you had even had 2 kicks in the first half, that would have been great, and that would have only put you down by 1. Maybe you had the momentum to get it. I mean, the Chiefs only had 3 scores themselves. It was a pretty lackluster game overall. Very defensive, I suppose, but these offenses should be more explosive, especially the Dolphins from what we predicted through this entire year. So, you're going to lose a bunch of spots. Yeah, down 5. Number 7, the Fins. Make sure you're tackling that like button. Up 4 spots, I'm going to have my Bengals at number 6. Oh, we are back. Somehow last in our division, which is weird. I have every single team from our division on the list at this point right now, which is just insane. There's a non-zero chance that our entire division is going to go to the playoffs. I think the Steelers will get edged out. I really think the Browns are going to go. And the Ravens are very likely going to win the division. It's going to come between us and the Ravens, I do believe. Hurt from the beginning of the season is definitely hurting us, but we are back. Commanding win over the Bills. Oh, man. I guess I'll just leave it at that, and we'll see as it goes. I don't want to get too high on them, as we are still last in our division. Bullcrap. Ugh. Last in the division and able to be in the top 10 of a power rankings. Crazy. Bengals. Number 6. At number 5, up 2 spots, we're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs. Got the win over a very good Dolphins team in Germany. A little bit of a bounce back, I guess. Honestly, with a little bit of illness going through the team, though I'm not going to try to give any kind of excuses of, oh, that's why they lost the Broncos. No. You know, injury's part of football, and illness counts as injury. However, to bounce back like that, travel overseas with jet lag and that, and then get the win over a good team, pretty impressive, Chiefs. You are fully back. I think that you're going to stay a contender. I've been saying that every week. Of course you're going to stay a contender. You're the goddamn Chiefs. You're a dynasty at this point, and it sucks. However, you're a good team, and it's fine. So you're here. You didn't score any points in the second half, though, so you got kind of lucky winning that game. Honestly, just because the Dolphins didn't score any points in the first. You guys both teams should really be ashamed to show Germany such disrespect in the game of American foosball. But at least you guys are both actual contenders and leading your division, so in a roundabout way, you are still exciting teams to watch even with that. And hey, it was a very defensive game, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with a defensive game. Yeah, except when there's not scoring in halves. Anyways, Chiefs are going to be at number 5. Staying in the same place at number 4 and number 3 will be the Jaguars and the Lions. They were both on bye. They both are leading their divisions. They're both very good teams, and I think the bye came at the right time. It's only going to help them. So they will stay in the same spots. Up 3 spots in the number 2 spot, I'm going to have to put the Ravens. I don't want to put the Ravens here. It doesn't feel good putting the Ravens here because, God, I hate the Ravens. I respect the Ravens. Great win over an emerging Seahawks team. Absolutely commanded it. But I still hate you. I don't like OBJ with a passion. I do like Justin Tucker. He's my second favorite kicker in the league. Only second to McPherson. But I hate your team and I hate OBJ. God damn. Just start losing something. Sincerely, a Bengals fan. 37 points taken over any team is a good amount of points to take over any team. And you took it over the Seahawks, which at that point were leading their division. It was really good. I really do think that the Ravens deserve the number 2 spot. They really should have gotten that extra 2 rushing yards and made an even 300. That's going to ding you some points. Maybe that's why you're not number 1 in here. I don't know. Could have had it. You know, most teams this week didn't even have 300 passing yards. But, yeah, I'm going to have to hold it against you. Should have had that extra 2 yards. Seriously, 300 rushing yards? That's insane. It's disgusting. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like it at all. I'd like you to do much worse, please. I almost forgot to put this on my notes there. The Ravens had the ball for 20 more minutes than the Seahawks. It was literally 19-something to 40-something minutes possession of the ball. What the hell? That's insane. When it gets close to a quarter, I try to make a big deal about possession of the ball, and it's like, oh, you get 20 minutes better possession? Jesus, Seahawks. I mean, I know I don't think you're as good as your record says, and you've been giving me the roller coaster, but Ravens? God damn, you're a scary team. I don't like it. We're going to be facing you in a couple weeks on Thursday night. I look forward to it. And we better get the frickin' W. I'll tell you what. But anyways, for now, Ravens are number 2. And staying the same at number 1, we're going to have the Eagles. They have the best record. They keep getting the wins. Only 1 loss so far. They did struggle against the Cowboys. They had the lead for a while, and then that fourth quarter happened. They were like, you know what? Maybe we could lose another one. I don't know. I don't see a world where they're not making the championship game. They're 100% making the divisional game. You heard it here first, folks. Nothing will get in the way of that. Not even lightning. But yeah, they just, from an overall standpoint, they are just the best team in the league, I think. Maybe soon they can drop down, but I mean, they have the commanding amount of wins. Yes, some of those games are being very close. However, I've got to say they're getting the wins. They're not all pretty, and I've been saying about certain teams like the Chiefs, like, well, you want to get some prettier wins, but that's more so because their rushing game is just not where it needs to be, where the Eagles have a pretty balanced game and are squeezing out the wins against pretty decent teams. The Cowboys are no joke. I don't think they're that good, but they're no joke. They're not a gimme. And Dak is a very good quarterback. They have a good defense. So Eagles will be at number 1 for the power rankings for Week 10. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the Week 10 power rankings. I hope you enjoyed them. I know I did. Leave us a comment. Tell us anything you want. Hey, what's your favorite animal? That'll be great. Mine's the penguin, by the way. Unless that penguin's from Pittsburgh. In that case, it can go fuck itself. But otherwise, I do love penguins. Let me know what yours is in the comments. And have a good rest of your day.